Welcome to Networking Knowledge. Join Dave Plunkett, founder at Collaboration Junkie and Partnerships and Referral Strategy Guru, and Paul the Banksy of LinkedIn, founder at Javelin Content and co-founder at Marketing Help Desk, as they discuss networking in real life, what it is, how to do it well, and share their incredible expertise. This is real life networking. Stop. It's hammer time, damn it.
I'm guilty. I'm dancing away. I might release that as a single, Dave. I might release that track as a single. I love it. Thanks everybody for joining us. I have to say I was absolutely blown away. Both me and Dave were blown away by the response that we had the last time we hosted one of these sessions. So hopefully some of the same people have turned up. Hopefully we've got some new guests. But wherever you are, whichever channel you're on, drop us a comment. Ask your questions in the comments. This is live for a reason. We don't do it because we want to just send some videos out there into the wild and you consume them and hopefully get some value from them. We want to do that, but this is where you get your chance to ask your own questions as well. And nothing works better than engaging with a live audience. So I love that side of things. And that's why I'm a big fan of live streaming. Today's topic is on using video to build and strengthen your network. So I feel like it's quite a nice segue between Dave's world and my world.
Yeah, I'd reckon so, right? Because I use video a lot. And I will add, I'll add my anecdotal stuff in as we go, right? But this is your bag, kind of, and how you support people. So I reckon it's only right that that you kick us off today, Paul, after we did referrals last time, which was very much in my bag, but you do a lot. We've kind of flipped it this week, right? Like I do a lot of video, but this is your area of expertise. So specifically around building and leveraging and adding value to a kind of to your network. Why video? Why do you believe video is such a strong medium?
It's a bit like going to the gym, Dave, right? And this is true of so many things, right? It's like going to the gym. A lot of people will try video once or twice. They'll hate themselves on video. They'll hate the sound of their voice, and they'll not do it again. And they will tell the rest of the world that they tried video and it didn't work for them. And the sad fact is, unfortunately, that just means you didn't try hard enough. You need to be consistent. Or you can't go to the gym solid for a week, do an hour a day, no matter how much of it. You could go for 4 hours a day, get to the end of the week, take your next review photos. Not going to be a great deal of difference. You might see some, but you're not going to think, oh wow, I'm ready for the beach now. It's not going to happen. And video outreach, video networking, video content, and video marketing is all part of how you do that with your online gym, right? Like your online presence. Your LinkedIn profile right now is probably flabby dad, right? It needs optimizing, it needs trimming down. You need to get out there and build trust and relationships with people. And I know from talking to tons of people who are excellent networkers, people like yourself, Dave, who vouch for the power of being there in person and talking to an audience, that we all know that is the best way to generate good business for ourselves, good network, good relationships, and all the good things that come with it. But for a lot of people, that's since COVID, that's not really a feasible tactic all of the time. You might do that some of the time, but so what about the rest of the time? Do you do just one-to-one meetings with people? Hope people will book a meeting, and yeah, that's part of it. But for me, the real power of video is the ability to get out on your social media feeds and have that one-to-many relationship with your audience, where you're telling everybody about why you're an expert, why you're credible, what you believe in, what you don't believe in, the things that you've seen, making it personal to you. And I don't think anything else conveys in quite the same way. Even audio isn't quite the same, because people attach emotion and associate the emotion with your personality and your face.
People see the whites of your eyes, right? Right.
I've got a face for radio myself, so I can say this, right?
Yeah.
I'm not a supermodel by any means, and I hate the sight of myself on camera. I hate the sound of my voice. I'm just like everyone else out there, but I know that it works, so I do it anyway. Yeah, and that's the thing you've got to stick with.
And I think you mentioned that trust word. People do business with and refer people to people they know, like, and trust, right? And if you're not going to meet someone in person, video is the next best thing for kind of that know, like, trust bit of moving that along, right? Because as you said, it's not just about why you're an expert, it's who you are, what you stand for, and getting those values across. And that's why I think video is so powerful. I launched Collaboration Junkie literally just before COVID, right? And I wasn't really doing anything on LinkedIn before. And so I largely built a personal brand, if you want to call it that. I suppose it is. It is. Through video and through LinkedIn. And people do get to feel they know the real you. As long as you are the real you on your videos, or the version of the real that we all have levels of kind of the real us, right? A full Dave is me at a festival, right? Not caring about the world, but the Dave you see here and now isn't that far off, right? It's not a front. And so as long as you're, I don't want to use that word, authentic, but as long as you're genuinely authentic, not fake authentic, right? People sniff that bullshit out very easily these days. People who are doing authenticity for the trying to be manufactured authenticity, right? As long as you genuinely are, that comes across on video, right? As you say, because people can see it, and so that know, like, trust, and doing that on scale, I think is a great way, and sometimes even better than. So public speaking is great, and I get to do a lot of it. I'm in a privileged position where I can stand up in front of audiences and do my piece, but there are only so many speaking gigs around, right? Again, I'm privileged that not many people do what I do, and I'm good at it, which means I get invited on quite a lot. But if you're in a space where there's lots of people in that market, well, there's only so many events to go around, and so video is your medium for that one to many. So
I think not only that, but you can build out your social media network to be more of the right people that you want to reach. So sometimes you can go to a speaking gig and there might only be 5 people in the room who are in your ideal audience, but you know that they're there and you've got to connect with those 5. Whereas when you speak out on social media, there could be thousands of people in your audience who are the right people for you to speak to. So I just think, if you want to consider number of people watching versus target market audience, social media is probably, as long as you're building your audience in a responsible way, then you're gonna get in front of more of the right people, which is what everybody wants, right? Surely that's what everybody needs as a business owner.
Yeah. And where would you suggest people start, Paul? Because I know for me, on my one, I thought I had to start by doing factual videos about what I did. And this was before I was doing public speaking as well, really. Yeah. So I was kind of nervous about doing that. And so I started by doing, and this might be right or wrong, I started by doing rants of the week. So I just ranted about something. It was typically business related, but it was just an easy thing that I could do to camera that wasn't scripted. And it got me over that hump of doing video. But there are loads of other ways that people could do it. Maybe you start using video in your direct messaging and things like that. So for people that get the value of it, but they're here going, but it's video, like, what would you suggest for those people?
Right. 3 things. 1, it's necessary. Get over it. It's a frog. You've just got to eat it. Eat it fast. Get it down your throat, and just get on with it, because it works and it converts like nothing else. You've got to have faith in it. 2, everybody gets anxious about being on video. Certainly the first few times, possibly more than that, depends on your personality, or, and people talk about introvert and extrovert, load of crap. It's not about being an introvert or an extrovert. It's about how comfortable you are sharing, right? And that affects introverts and extroverts completely the same way. It doesn't matter whether you're either. And I'd argue that introverts probably create better videos than extroverts, because they're happy to make it about things that are bopping about in their head, rather than the extrovert tendency, which is, I want to talk about me. Sorry if you're an extrovert out there. This is not derogatory to you. Like, I wish I was more extrovert myself. I'm not. I'm an introvert. I'm shy. Like, people would never believe that I'm shy. You get me in a room with a lot of people, I sweat. Like, I don't enjoy being around large groups of people. I can deal with it, and I can do it, and I can get up on stage and talk to a couple hundred people. I've done that. But so back to video. I think you hit the nail on the head with your rants, Dave. My advice to people is talk about something you're passionate about first. Because once you get over the anxiety of having pressed that record button and you start getting into the topic a bit, it becomes very easy to articulate the things that you're passionate about. I'd always advise people, it sounds counterproductive, I'd always advise people to go live first. Right, that's a scary step, going live and doing things in the moment. The problem I see a lot of people do, I was talking to somebody from one of our networking groups the other day, Dave. Oh, Paul, I've recorded the same video 15 times. I just can't quite get it right. There was 2 reasons for that, right? One, they were trying to talk about their own business straight away. That's really hard to do because you want to get over the right message. You need to land it well. You're worried that you're not covering all your bases. You want to get, it's got to be word perfect. Don't talk about your business first. Talk about something you're super passionate about, you're enthusiastic about, that has probably, ideally, like a social good or something like that. You can share your thoughts and ideas about, comes across well. And the reason I say do it live is because you will, once you've recorded it, your temptation will be to watch it back. And you'll play it back and you go, oh, I sound horrible. I sound half awake. I'm tired. I'm not energetic. Give yourself a break. Right, this is video number 1. Let it go. Put it out there, see what the reaction is, and iterate. So when you do that, don't delete the videos. Let them go. If they don't perform, great, you've learned something. If they perform, great, you've learned something else. There's no such thing as failing with video.
You know what? It reminds me so much of what you said, by the way, resonates with me and the work I do with people getting over the ick of asking for introductions as well, right?
Yeah.
It works. You just got to bloody do it. And also that done is better than perfect. The first time people start asking for introductions, they feedback and they go, oh, but I didn't quite do this and that. I'm like, no, but you did it. And the next one will be better. And the next one will be better. Like with my videos, yeah, I record 2 or 3 versions of them when I first started doing it. I love your going live thing. I imagine, though, there's a bunch of people on this listening here who are like,
it's terrifying.
No, like, right, I'm not doing that live. I used to do maybe 2 or 3 takes of a video, right? Now, I still don't like most of my videos I put out. I still think they could be much better. Every now and again I do one, I'm like, yeah, that's bang on the money. I normally do 3 takes, but the first 2 don't get past 30 seconds, right? I normally do 5 seconds in and go, well, that's crap. 30 seconds in, sometimes it takes 2. And then if I get past 35, 40 seconds and I'm in the flow, then that video is going out. Because if I don't do something at the end quite as I want it, quite as I like it, if I try and redo it, I'll do something else wrong at the start, right? And so that done is better than perfect, I think, is a really strong one for video, just kind of getting it out there. And most people aren't fans, as you said right at the outset, most people aren't fans of their own stuff because we always imagine the perfect one in our head, don't we, right?
Or you're watching like YouTubers who've got years and years of experience, or their kids with like there's some people are supremely talented and make video their entire life. Likelihood is you're a small business owner who has a billion other things to do. Video is a tiny part of or should be a tiny part of your week or day. And if it's not, you're not going to do it. If it becomes a chore, it becomes something you procrastinate over, you will not do it. You'll find excuses. So you need to make it simple. You need to make it easy. My preference is to block it off and do it in 30 minutes. You know, you can talk about 3 different topics in 30 minutes, whatever. But we're tying this back to building and strengthening your network, right? So avoid the sales pitch. Make it about subjects that add value for your audience. Related to your expertise, related to your business, but where you show them how to do the things that they would probably come to you for. Tell them how to do that without coming to you. Tell them how you do that.
I'm a huge believer in give your best stuff away for free, right? Because the people that work with you, they don't work for even someone like me. I've got frameworks, it's IP, it's and all that sort of stuff. But the people that work with me, they're not working specifically for that knowledge. They're working for, they're paying me to work with me on that knowledge and get my specific insights. So if you give away, if over a series of videos, you give away all your best secrets, well, if someone wants to watch all of those and take it and use it themselves, good on them, right? And you've helped another person. Yeah, they were never going to be a client, and you've helped someone else in the world. They may very well refer you though, right, and spread the word and everything else.
Yeah.
So I really like that in terms of, and I think that's how I've built a strong network of my own.
Amount of customers
is by just giving value, give value,
the amount of customers I've had that have come that route. I've empowered other people to be able to do a limited amount of what I do, and it's enough for them. It's good enough. They were never going to be my client. I've given my time. I've given free advice. I've given value to them, and eventually they always come back with, "Oh, Paul, you should talk with Karen. She's launching her own business. She's keen to do video, and she doesn't want to do it herself. She's ideal to talk to." And I work with a bunch of those people. So, people that have come out of corporate world and they've got a bag of expertise. But it always comes back to, and this is probably where I need to go next with it, is always comes back to, what do I talk about? And I've said something you're passionate about, but that's key because that's a blocker for a lot of people. It's hard to get your head around a strategy.
Yeah, and one of the things you touched on something, and around that, adding value to your network so you can strengthen it and show what you do and what you're passionate about. I hope everyone here is passionate about what they do. And if they're not, that's a different podcast completely for another time. You should go and find something you love doing, right? So if you don't want to do out and out personal videos, you do want to do about your business and that kind of, but you want to get over the hump. I'm a big believer in batch content for people that don't like doing video and episodic content. So think about what you do. Think about 10 top tips and record 10 videos in a row when you're in the flow. If the hardest, it's like that, using your gym analogy, they always say the hardest thing, the hardest part about going to the gym is putting your trainers on. Like once they're on, you're going. So the hardest part for you is going, I'm going to make myself look presentable and get in the zone and be ready to do video. Then once you're in that zone, bang out 10 top tips, 10 separate videos but they're stuff that you believe in, you're passionate and add value, and to keep it really simple, right? And I think that's how you be a giver, right? And that's how you add value to your network, in my opinion.
Absolutely. And I think the same applies. You touched on direct video messaging, right? And that's
what's come to next. Yeah.
So that is a really tough thing to do. It takes a lot of build up to get that point. And even I can sit there and do 4 or 5 takes of those because, again, you're talking about how you talk to your clients, you're representing your business. Your business is very important. You've got to pay the bills, feed the family, all those things. All those things are floating about in your head. All I would say is, if you're using video messaging to connect with someone, do your research. Don't just kind of blast those out. It can't be, I've created a script and I'm going to release that into the world and hopefully people come to me. It's got to be one by one, looking at people's profiles, identifying a real synergy, not just, oh, you breathe air and I see that we're both male. No, it doesn't work. I did one a few weeks back where it was environmental social goods. The guy ran a sustainability business. And, me and Phil, who's my other co-founder at my other business, we're big fans of sustainability. So it was an easy conversation. I mentioned it. I didn't go overboard. It was less than 60 seconds. And at the end, I left the ball in his court. Like, if that sounds like the sort of business you'd be interested to have a chat with, drop me a line. Ball's in your court. No pressure.
I had one the other day. It was someone I'd been on a call, online networking thing, but we hadn't had a chance to have a conversation. He connected with me. I accepted the connection request. He sent me a Loom video. So the video was him on top of my profile, which I guess shows that it wasn't just an AI thing, right? Because any AI can go pick something out of your profile and then go, yeah. So I get approached about, I really found your podcast interview on this insightful, on the podcast from like 3 years ago. You're like, no, you've done like, I see this person's connected. Like, you can see through that stuff these days. So it was a Loom video on my profile. He'd picked out something to do with a post, so he'd read it. And I think, while I know that's part of what he does, he hasn't singled me out for special treatment. The fact that he'd taken that level of time and effort immediately goes, fair play. We're all making outreach, right? We're all doing stuff, and at least someone's taking some time and effort and doing it. So it works. I was I'm pretty
cynical. And ultimately, I'd also argue that to a certain extent, who cares if it is AI, if it's ticked the bells, right? If it's coming from a genuine place and it's personalized and relevant enough that you believe that it might be genuine, I'd argue to an extent, I'm not saying go for it all the time, but like I'd argue if that makes your life simpler and it works.
Yeah, I'm not being anti-AI, Paul, right? But there are so many bad ones. No,
I agree.
Right? There are so many bad ones, and I think the video is the antidote to that because it's personal.
Absolutely.
It's genuine connection, and I think that comes down to the real heart of the power of video, whether it's one-on-one or one-to-many or whatever it may be, is that in this ever-increasing use of automation in AI, which does fantastic things for the world, people do crave real connection, genuine, trustworthy connection. And I think that is where video plays such a strong part.
Yeah, agreed. I guess to kind of go back a little bit to the challenge that a lot of people have around what do I record about, how I explain it to people now, and I'm going to release a lead magnet on this as well, like a bit of a free giveaway for people, is it's a visualization technique, right? And that sounds really hippie, right? I'm not a hippie in any way, shape or form. Sorry if you're a hippie. Don't mean to offend you either. Oh God, I need to be more polarizing. No, don't.
I have a vision board right there, by the way, Paul. So don't.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. So imagine, regardless of whether you plan on using it as a channel or not, imagine you have a successful YouTube channel in 18 months' time. So that's there, and it's converting your audience into customers regularly and consistently. It's bringing people to your door, inbound inquiries who are highly qualified, who aren't a bad fit, and who want to buy your product or services. Now, people buy in 3 stages. They buy in, first of all, they need to know you exist, the awareness stage. They need to be able to understand what you offer and why you offer it and why you're credible, which is the consideration phase. And then they've got the problem and then deciding who out of their shortlist they should go to, and that's the decision phase, right? So the beauty of YouTube is you can create playlists. Now, playlists can be your content, it can be somebody else's content, it can be whatever you want, but it's curated playlists, and you can title those playlists whatever you want. So my challenge to you is, if you want to create video and you don't know how to start, imagine that playlist set. Imagine your YouTube channel and what it looks like and how it's working, and how it addresses awareness, consideration, and decision making in the playlists. What are those playlists called? What's the title of the playlist that converts your audience? And what are the videos within them? And then drill down to what are those videos called? What topics do you need to cover to drive that consideration, awareness, and decision making for your audience? And start at the very top, start at awareness, build that out. You don't need a YouTube channel to do this. But if you can imagine that YouTube channel being created as you go,
that's a video strategy. That's a video strategy right there, Paul. That's absolute gold. And that's something that I haven't done. I've kind of just put videos out. I haven't done that conscious, where are you in this stuff? And
I'm not a strategist, so it's something.
Wow, you've done a very simple strategy there, right? In just thinking about your videos differently, of like, where do those 3 sit? Paul, that's absolute gold for anyone listening here. Like, in terms of where do you start, that's being very clear around what in your messaging around what's this message looking to do. And that works both for videos out to the wider world and your direct messaging, right? Like, in terms of, is it nurturing content, or is it, look, come on, you're making a decision now content, and like, yeah, mate, that's absolute gold.
I know the one caveat that I put in that everybody wants to try and avoid: make sure you stay transparent in that process. So there will be things that are big red flags for you, for people that you don't want to work with. Build that into your video plan. Tell people who you don't want to work with. Be brave. Cancel some people out, because they're gonna, if they do come with you, they're gonna leave. They're gonna be churn customers. They're not gonna be a good fit. You're not gonna enjoy working with them. They're gonna take the majority of your time up, or they're just gonna waste the time of both sides before they decide that you're not for them. So where you've got a bad fit customer and you know they exist, call that out. We don't work with people who do this or want to work like that. That can be part of your video playlist. And it's not something you'd have on your website. You wouldn't go on your website and go, oh, we don't work with these sorts of people. Don't apply. If, like, you can't do that on a website, but you can do it with video. and you can do it in a very natural and in like motivational way where you can just say, you know what, I'm not for everyone.
Yeah.
Like, for example, I don't work with people who just want to chase leads from the videos. That's not me. I don't generate leads from videos. It's a side effect of what we do, yes, but it's about brand and PR. So if you're focused purely on leads, we're not going to get on, because I'm not going to commit to those metrics. There's so much beyond my control there. So replicate that for your business. Who are the people you don't want to work with? Accelerate your pipeline by not working with them. Improve your conversion rate by not working with them, and make yourself happier by not working with them. Like, what's not to love about that? So again, you can be transparent with video, because you don't lose the context that you do when you put it in writing. It seems very harsh when you put that in writing. Say it on video. All right, I get it. Right, yeah, we're not for him.
Yeah.
Or her. Whoever.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think values come through again. Again, it's about connection, right? People genuinely connect with that message rather than thinking, yeah. So, yeah, awesome.
Absolutely. Perfect. Thanks, Dave. I've enjoyed this one. And obviously, we've got a bit of an outro coming up. Dave, your 2 webinars that we're about to advertise in the webinar are in the outro are coming up very, very soon. So, and I've also got a webinar coming up on the 28th of March that's not mentioned in the outro. So I will put the links for all of that down in the comments, whether you're on YouTube, whether you're on LinkedIn, wherever you're at. Dave's LinkedIn address will be there, his email address. All our contact details are down below in the comments. And I'll share my webinar, which is titled How to Create Over 100 Digital Assets, attention-grabbing video assets in less than 2 hours of your time. So I'm sharing, like we've discussed today, I'm sharing everything. The whole process, the tools, the workflows, my experience and knowledge and my advice, all in a free webinar. Just got to register for it. There's no sales pitch in there. If you want to work with us after you've seen it, because it's not for you, brilliant. If you don't, happy days. And I hope that adds tons of value for everyone. Dave, it's been a pleasure, mate. I've really enjoyed this conversation.
Likewise. Always a pleasure. So.
Fantastic. We will definitely be doing another one of these videos. It'll probably be sometime after the Easter holidays now, so probably back end of April or early May before the next one. So people, you're going to have to network on your own for a while without Dave and my support. But I'm sure you'll survive. And hopefully on the next one, we get a few more people commenting. We had some great interaction on the last one, people. We want to see your comments, questions and ideas, because we need that engagement for this to be worth doing live. So come back to us. All right. Ta-ta for now.
Cheers, everyone.
Hello, I'm Paul. This has been Networking Knowledge Unleashed. I hope you've enjoyed the show. We've shared lots of tips today, and now it's our time to shout a little bit about what we each other do. I want to introduce Dave. Dave is a fantastic personality. As you can probably tell, he has bags of energy and positivity, and he helps businesses with their partnerships and referral strategies. He's helped my business massively. I thought I knew it all. I didn't. I went through his course and he radically changed the direction of my business. And I'm already seeing new leads coming into my business from the partners that Dave told me to match up with. So I can't recommend Dave enough. He is a fantastic personality. And if you'd like to know more about how Dave can help you in your business, the details of his next webinar, which will be free, are coming up below in the comments. Make sure you reach out, register, and take part. I promise you it is time well spent.
Thanks, Paul. Now my turn to recommend you, I guess. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're looking to build your personal brand through video, or you want to do more video, but you're nervous about where to start, or it seems like a faff, then speak to Paul. He is an absolute expert at not only getting the right content from you, but then repurposing it so that the content you do goes such a long way. Speak to this man. He's an absolute legend.